Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Sir David Wallace building here at University of Loughborough, and we're on match day 3, and it's the final game in Group B of the FIFA Futsal 2028 World Cup qualifiers. Hosts England versus Sweden. England needing that win to qualify for the main round. As always, joined by Louis Melville. Louis, good evening. How are you?
Yeah, good evening, Sean. Good evening, everyone, and yeah, welcome to another what's going to be interesting evening at Loughborough University. We've had a big day of futsal today, Sean. Started with the women's team. You know, congratulations to you and the girls. Unbelievable result.
Yeah, amazing. I don't want to touch on it too much. Obviously, we've got a big game ahead of us, but yeah, fantastic for them. Fantastic to beat an elite round team in Slovakia. A big thank you to Slovakia, obviously, for coming over for these 2 games, and massive development opportunity. And yeah, I hope people enjoyed it at home. It was a great little atmosphere. It was great to see the men supporting the Lionesses earlier, chanting away, getting behind them, and a few of the Lionesses in here tonight as well. So hopefully they'll return the favour.
Yeah, and I think, looking at what the women's team did this morning, I'm hoping that's going to be a big inspiration to the men's team, because tonight it's become very binary, Sean, isn't it? England have to win, Sweden have already qualified, and Northern Ireland, it was a chaotic game this afternoon, it has to be said. Just absolute carnage at times, but they came away with a 3-3 draw, very disappointed, no doubt. But now they've got to sit and watch and see what their fate's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of entertainment and drama from earlier today, fantastic spectacle. I'm sure Northern Ireland are disappointed they didn't quite hold on, but they have put themselves right in the mix this week, and testament to them for doing that. And as I think you rightly pointed out to me earlier, we've got the best attack versus the best defence in front of us.
Yeah, and I'm going to be a little bit boring here, Sean, because I'm going to go. I would be happily see England walk this game 5 or 6-0, no drama, but I suspect that's not how it's going to play out tonight.
And the crowd is certainly whipping up a frenzy. I'd say we're getting close, not quite full, but it certainly seems to be a bigger crowd for a Friday night for this big game.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much close to a sellout from what I heard earlier on, speaking to a few of the England futsal staff, but I think it's going to be very noisy. I think I spotted at least 3 drums, so we may have to go for the paracetamol in the second half, Sean. But you know, I think we're in for a really dramatic, exciting night.
And just briefly, Louis, like, you've been here all week. You've been brilliantly doing the commentary all week for both the men and the women and all the games. Yeah, just I know we've got a massive game in front of us here, but just reflect on the week for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, we can take a step back, and you know, I think this has really been, I know it's been dubbed the International Futsal Week, but I think it's felt more like a festival of futsal, to be honest, Sean. And the events that we've had on, I know there's been some youth stuff, and we had the futsal conference on the rest day. We've had the women's come in. And obviously the World Cup competition. The World Cup competition. But also the variety of people come in. Because it's the Easter holidays, a lot of youngsters have come in. Lots of different clubs represented. Lots of new faces. I have to admit, I've been speaking to a lot of people outside, having a few coffees during the week, probably a few too many. But you know, it's tremendous. I think we've got to give credit to the England futsal staff. And yeah, we're all interested, the team on the pitch, but the people behind the scenes, they've done a tremendous work. You know, particularly Luke and Joe, who have been pulling strings left, right and centre to get this on, and all the volunteers that have been here, but also the people that have come and supported this throughout these 4 days. It's been absolutely amazing. I'm not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow morning, Sean, because it's going to be a bit of a burst in my bubble.
Well, just a big thank you to Loughborough, to all the volunteers. Yeah, you don't make these events happen without hard work and sweat and everyone coming together. And I think the other thing is as well, what's great, there's the on-court rivalries, and yeah, there's a bit of passion in the crowd as well, which has been great. But actually there's a really collaborative approach to everything. Everyone's talking with each other. You can see connections. I see some of my old Welsh teammates in there as well. It's great to see. So everyone's buying into what's going on in terms of trying to build for the future. Build not, is it around England, but around Great Britain and UK and what's happening. It's great growth. So I'm just really hoping from an England perspective, obviously slightly biased tonight, that they put on a really, really good show. And yeah, there's going to be a lot on it. What, from a Sweden perspective, you obviously watched the first two games, a narrow victory in the opening day against Northern Ireland, and then again probably another bit of a crazy, chaotic game against the Swiss, drawing 1-1.
Yeah, what I did last night was I decided to watch the last 10 minutes of each half of Sweden's games, and I think there's a definite trend with them where, you know, they do start very strong, and then they have probably that 20 to 30 minutes where it's a little bit average, and in the last 10 minutes they're kind of hanging on the games. We saw that against Northern Ireland. I think Northern Ireland would consider themselves a little bit unlucky what happened to them, and then again the Swiss game that developed into another sort of chaos and mayhem game where it was just back and forth, and again Switzerland probably thought they could have stole it in the end. So if we see that pattern again, I think however this game is going, if it's a tight game, England need to stay in the game, because I think those last 10 minutes, England will definitely get opportunities as the Swedes tire.
And physicality is going to be important tonight as the game wears on, as you mentioned. I think number 11, Brian Johansson, and number 8, Hampus Furublad, we're not expecting them to play tonight. So we think because of a couple of niggles or injuries, it'll be interesting to see. Certainly from the warm-up, they weren't warming up. So from a Mattia Deval point of view, head coach of Sweden, they have qualified. What do you think their mindset's going to be into this game? Given that I think they've also got several players on yellow cards, which does mean something for main round. If they pick up another yellow card, they miss the first game in the main round.
Well, I think firstly you've got to play the game that's in front of you. But just going back to the two players you mentioned with potential injuries, or you know, if there's a real risk to those players, regardless of what the game is, you don't risk them. So I think, you know, they've got to do what's best for their players. But I think from an England perspective, they've just got to think, right, well, we're playing this team. If they don't step on the court, they don't step on the court. They're not an issue. But I mean, Sweden have qualified, and they've got to look after themselves. But you know, they have a duty to make sure this game is competitive, and I'm sure that will happen because they will not want to lose.
And you mentioned earlier about the different events and festivals that have been happening this week. Certainly, you know, a really proud moment for myself, being coaching and coach development so important for me and for what we're trying to do as England Futsal and across England, was the coaching conference. And wasn't it brilliant that we had all 4 head coaches coming together, sharing their thoughts and experiences, where they're trying to take their teams, and the interaction between the coaches throughout the week. And a big thank you to all 4 of them for coming down in the middle of a competition to share their thoughts, their experiences with 50 to 60 coaches. Now, I want to bring it back to John Tapia-Owens, our England head coach. What do you think's going through his mind? How do you think he needs to be? What sort of behaviours does he need to exhibit tonight to get the best out of these England players?
Well, having known John for quite a few years now, I think, you know, he's big on those positive behaviours, being in the moment, and you know, I think what's made it really clear, you know, we've said England need to win. Okay, so that's very clear. What are our behaviours? If come 2 hours' time, he'll have said to the players, if we win this game, what sort of things will we have done well? And I think that's the main thing to focus on.
And here come the 2 teams as they walk out. Atmosphere picking up nicely.
Yeah, I think at the moment atmosphere are already about 8.5 out of 10, Sean.
Yeah, it's great to see the drums in tonight. Plenty of noise, plenty of atmosphere. And as you say, lots of families, lots of children enjoying the game as well. There we have it, the national anthems. So if we just look at the starting lineups for England, number 1, Johnny Sims in goal, number 4, Jamie Brooker, number 5, Harry Tozer, number 7, Jeff Adebayor, number 11, Richard Ward. For Sweden in goal, number 12, Camille Altun, number 5, Oscar Ied, number 6, Albert Haisieni, number 9, Frederick Suderquist, and number 16, Donna Gashi. There we have it, the scene is set, Louis. Hopefully it's going to be one fantastic spectacle ahead of us.
Yeah, we've got a couple of minutes just before kick-off, and I think really we can just sum it up. This is, as we said in the pre-game, it's very much win or not go home, but stay home for England for October. So I think England, hopefully the messages from John Tappet-Owen and Stuart Cook have been crystal clear. I know you're big on clarity, Sean, about what's required. So hopefully we're going to get that from England. Strong start and deal with the first few minutes. Get your foot on the ball, feel comfortable in the court, and then can we build on that?
I tell you what, Louis, what I'm really enjoying is the atmosphere building up, the chanting that we started to see this week. This is what we want in England. This is what we want for the teams, to play in front of these crowds, to see this atmosphere. And yes, there's a bit of pressure, but this is why these players do it. This is why as coaches we do it. This is why as fans we get involved. A fantastic spectacle and opportunity for these players with so much on the line.
Yeah, we can see the table now, and whilst England might have the better goal difference, the issue with England is they are head-to-head with Northern Ireland, and obviously losing that game, it means that England have to win to go through, and it will be Northern Ireland that will drop out, and England will be the group winners, and Sweden will qualify as runners-up. So no doubt most of the Northern Ireland team and the fans will be Sweden tonight.
Yeah, of course. They've put themselves in the mix there through some great performances of their own this week, and they should be very proud of what they've done, albeit, like we said earlier, possibly a little bit disappointed they didn't wrap it up themselves earlier. But yeah, England know what they've got to do. A draw is no good. Got to go out there, perform, and hopefully they get the win. Yeah,
and I think there's a big responsibility on the third team out there, the referees tonight, to really get control of the game and make sure that we stay the right side. And we want a competitive game, and England are going to have to be really disciplined here. The Swedes know that they're through. You say there's a few yellow cards there, but I guess they wouldn't mind knocking England out.
No, in terms of the referees tonight, Spanish referee is number 1 referee, David Apestekia, and referee number 2 from Slovakia, Ratislav Behanchin. So it's England who will kick us off. Richard Ward over the ball, and we're underway. Ball played back to Johnny Sims going long into Richard Ward. Sweden starting with a pretty high press. England just dropping just in front of the halfway line. Haisieni plays it into Ied. And one of the traits that we've seen with the Swedish players, they are not afraid to play those parallel passes, those balls in behind all week. Sometimes they've risked a little bit of transition on it, and as we see there, if the gaps appear, England will need to watch that.
Yeah, there's a good interception there, by the way, by Johnny Sim. He came out really brave, and a bit of damage there to the Swedish number 6, Albert Haisieni, and immediately the medical team are on.
It was an awkward position for Johnny Sims, right on the edge of the D. Risky using his hands. He's done well to fend that off.
But I mean, that is something that the goalkeepers will practice, because those sort of high jeopardy balls right on the edge of the D, where can I have to start thinking about taking my arms out of the way and now use my body? What part of my body can I make sure the ball travels forward, not to the side or backwards?
Yeah, we always talk about that sort of 6, 7, 8 metre, whether it's a long throw or a diagonal pass, it's a horrible sort of area between the back player that we term the fix and the goalkeeper trying to resolve those situations. But he did really well there. Haisieni's come off worse as a result of that. Number 2, Ismail Fazilia, is coming on in his replace. Sweden with the high press into Richard Ward. Oh! Futsal straight into the action, giving away a free kick. Yellow card. The high press from Sweden. England able to skip that first line. Richard Ward holds the ball up. And he was in there, wasn't he, Louis?
Yeah, Richard Ward just looked at the referee and thought, you know, maybe there's a little bit more. But it was a definite pull back. But I think the ball had run through to the keeper, so probably a yellow card right there, Sean.
Russell Goldstein, skipper, onto the court for this free kick. Can England find a flying start?
Only 29 seconds gone, Sean, and 2 fouls up for Sweden already.
We've said about what's their approach. It's pretty aggressive early doors. Tozer, oh! Goldstein in front of Söderqvist, almost got a little back heel. We saw Kirsty Corral score something similar for the Lionesses earlier today. Yeah,
good setup there from England. Russell Goldstein just couldn't quite get the back heel.
Sweden into their familiar 4-0. Ed starting high, number 5 coming round. Oh, miscontrol. Another diagonal pass splitting England. Jamie Brooker recovers well.
Yeah, I think Harry Tozer sensed he might be able to win that ball, but just couldn't quite nick it. But good work from Jamie Brooker.
I think Futsal a little bit careful there. One of the things the referees have been talking about with the teams this week is use of hands, and certainly a little bit of a nudge in the back of Richard Ward. Futsal brings the ball out. Ed again looking for that diagonal. Certainly something they've targeted here. That's 3 diagonal passes early on. England just allowing, as the Swedish players, that time from Ed, number 5, just allowing that dominant pass. England needing just to stop that a little bit more. Defend the central space a little bit tighter. Brooker switches the play to Tozer. Well played, Richard Ward, securing the ball. Swedish players claiming, but it was a restart from a kick-in, not a goal clearance. So the referee's correct in that decision.
Yeah, do you think the fact that England just playing a little bit deeper at the moment, they're just maybe if they don't close down that second pass, the diagonal opens up?
Well, you got the two aspects of it. You've got the tracking of the runner, but then you've got how do you put pressure at source on the ball. And for me, England can just defend the dominant foot on this side particularly. We've got 3 right-footed players for Sweden at the moment, and Söderqvist, the number 9, with that left foot. So defend the dominant foot, which helps the movement for the player tracking. Just rebounds off Jamie Brooker, a bit of pressure from number 5, Ed. Number 17 for Sweden, Boyang into the game. Volley from the far side from Rydberg. Johnny Sim goes long. Sweden making the changes. Number 4, Mossberg on. Boyang. Boyang to Rydberg. Mossberg. Better defending from England. Better distances of pressure. Johnny Sim collects the ball. Eddie Amorin into the game for England. Great travel. We were looking at that yesterday in the coaching conference. Oh, 3rd foul.
It's going to be interesting what the referee does here. At the moment, he's not reaching for his yellow card, but that was a great bit of play, firstly from Eddie Amorim to open up the pass to Jeff Adu before, and then a great bit of skill. But I think a foul is all it's going to be. 2.5 minutes, 3 fouls up, Sean.
Just young players, go and rewind what Eddie Amorim just did. That small travel to create a little 2v1 and Jeff Adu attacking down the line is a great skill, a great advantage. We want players to be able to travel under pressure like that, deal with those situations. It was actually my topic on the coaching conference yesterday, and brilliant demonstration there from Eddie Amorim.
Jack Tyson has just checked into the game for Richard Ward.
Tyler Cook also on, round the corner from Jordan Edge. Jack Tyson couldn't quite hold of it. Rydberg, Boyang switches the play to Mossberg. Sweden trying to find rhythm, looking for those diagonals and parallel passes. England just need to watch those spaces in behind.
I just noticed there with Jack Tyson, he could have had an exchange there, but he decided to follow Boyan all the way through. Is that because of the matchup there and the size?
Yeah, it's also part of our principles and what we're looking to develop. So our half-court principles are different to our full-court principles when we're defending. But it's also we're trying to get tight to them, trying to be able to get pressure on the ball at source and giving the players the time to track those runners. You also saw him using a lot of hands there, which is going to be important to fend off the runner.
Again, we spoke about Eddie Araman there. We saw what he was trying to do again, but probably the space is just a little bit too tight there to the touchline.
Yeah, a little bit tight. Jordan Edge. Tyson grabs hold of the ball. Good securing skills from Tyson. England can look to switch the play a little bit quicker when that ball comes out. Cook to Edge. Tyson, great play. Amarin into Jordan Edge. Back post. Tyson on the slide, picked up by Alton. Mossberg on the attack. Johnny Sim sweeps up. Loose pass from Johnny Sim. There's a nice feel to the game.
Yeah,
Louis.
it's I don't think Sweden have come here to give England a gimme. That's for sure.
Yeah, they could have sat off themselves. They could have tried to mix up strategy, but they're keeping pretty true to game 1 and game 2. Sweden set piece. Round comes Söderqvist. Number 7, Smilovic with the shot deflected.
Yeah, I noticed about Smilovic in the first 2 games when he's playing as a pivot. He does like to stay out wide, that sort of false pivot role, and then sort of ghost in.
They certainly have a style of playing with that false pivot and the 4-0. Eddie Amarin on the counter-attack. Set piece is going to be important tonight, Louis. We saw that in the Northern Ireland game as well for both teams, so it could be key moments if it's a low-scoring game.
Just before kick-off, Sean, I went down to court side, and you could really feel there was a bit of tension in here, a bit of atmosphere.
Tyler Cook fires it in. Söderqvist making the clearance. Shuby, the skipper for Sweden, onto the court. Bit of a fascinating battle starting to emerge between Fazilia and Ward. This time the free kick going against the England pivot. Shuby versus Charlie Kuhn. Well defended, Charlie Kuhn getting his body across Shuby in the 1v1. Winning and dominating their 1v1 duels tonight is going to be really important for the England players. As Pal Freeman enters the game. Kuhn finding Richard Ward. Shuby attacking centrally. Richard Ward cleverly just creating a little opening for Charlie Kuhn. And the Spanish referee's giving it as an England kick-in high up the court.
Quite interesting there. Tyler Cook came on, and because it's a set piece and a promising position, Harry Tozer comes on for him.
Yeah, Harry Tozer, one of our most reliable shooters, certainly from distance as well. Scored some cracking goals. The one against Sweden away last year as part of his hat-trick. Ball fired in. Charlie Kuhn slows down the attack. Hysieni back on the court. Shuby. Söderqvist, they like that outside of the foot pass to keep their body orientation facing forwards. Ed, 1v1 against Richard Ward.
Yeah, good work there from Richard Ward. He just stuck to his task.
Wonder if they're just looking for number 9, Söderqvist, on the left foot. They certainly are. Pal Freeman does well. Kuhn picks up the ball. Could just settle it down here for Liam Pal Freeman, the West London Futsal Club player. Don't get disappointed with that, England. Playing those parallels, sometimes the pressure's good from the opponent. It's a safe way out.
it looks like England is still quite happy to sit on the just slightly above the halfway line and not risk too much in terms of the pressing at the moment, and pick those moments when to press it.
Absolutely, and, their in possession has been strong enough to give them certainly a lot of promise in terms of the opportunities they're getting. And if they win balls like Richard Ward's just done there, you want them to be simmering, but we don't need to boil over. It's a nice level for England at the moment.
Yeah, but I think also what that did, Sean, was that little tanglement there. It got the level of the energy up as well, and we need that from the crowd for England.
Söderqvist. Ied, little step on the ball. Lovely little feint, stop touch on the ball and just changed his direction. Johnny Sim with the safe parry, Sweden corner. Ied waiting on the edge of the box. Not great contact, but sometimes those are often the worst to deal with.
Yeah, we've seen a few times this week where the strike has been great and it's caught players out, and then suddenly there's been a touch and it's ended up in a goal.
Shuby from range. High and wide over Johnny Sim's crossbar. Number 16 for Sweden, Gashi back on the court. Jack Tyson looking to spin the play as Sweden press into the space behind. Just a few set pieces mounting up, and going to have to defend resolute here, England.
Yeah, they just pushed up the court a little bit higher there, Sweden, trying to force pressure, and it's resulted in a corner, unfortunately, for England.
Jake Barnes into the action, the Manchester man for the first time this evening. Gashi comes round, good block from Jordan Edge.
And it's really interesting. Those sort of blocks really give energy to the bench, don't they? And it suddenly gets them up, and that transfers to the crowd and then lifts the team. Absolutely.
You need your teammates on the bench supporting that. Ied, Söderqvist. High Siene. Gashi able to bring the ball forward. Little block, little heels from Ied to try and open up a little gap. England defended that well. Certainly reduced the risk in terms of those diagonals. Johnny Sim in behind, great pass to Jake Barnes.
Yeah, I think Jake just had a quick look across the court there to see where the support was, and I think decided just to go for it.
It's interesting watching the Swedish players this week across the three games. You can see what they're trying to do, and all 12, 13 players. And that's one example, looking for that diagonal pass. And number 15, Rydberg with the finish to make it England 0, Sweden 1. And I was just talking about how they've been trying to play with the parallel pass, particularly on the right-hand side, and the diagonal pass over the top that we saw there. And this time, it comes off.
Yeah, he just got the back of Jake Barnes there. It was a well-weighted pass. He still had a lot of work to do from it, but a really excellent finish there from the Swedish number 15, Rydberg.
Mossberg giving the foul away, and another yellow card. England onto 4 fouls. I'm actually, given that Sweden already had 6 yellow cards coming into this game, I can see why they might be pressing. I understand that, but to get on the 4 fouls early and 2 more yellow cards seems quite aggressive in their press at the moment.
Well, I think if anyone was thinking if this was going to be an honest game, it's certainly made for a game now, and England need at least 2 goals.
Edge tucking into Tyler Cook. Comes down to Jordan Edge with a shot. Oh, save from Alton. As Edge picked up the second ball, Jake Barnes might have been a little opportunity there at the back post.
Yeah, I think the ball just flashed across him. Just by the time he realised it was out of play.
Ironically, Rydberg scoring with the diagonal and almost got caught himself defensively.
Yeah, I think you've got to give the keeper some credit there as well.
There's that aerial pass from Riedberg. There's plenty in this game for England at the moment. They're certainly creating opportunities through their own in-possession play, or even winning the ball back from the Swedish press. Alton picks it up, quick throw.
From a Swedish perspective, it's, you know, we're sort of 12 minutes to half time. There's a lot of game time left, and whether they can keep this up, and England are obviously going to at some point have to really press on for it.
It's a great pass from Tyler Cook. Eddie Amrin couldn't just quite bring it down. Riedberg, the goal scorer, to Mossberg. Boyang back on the court. Of all the Swedish players this week, I've actually been really impressed with the young player Riedberg. And again, one of the things that has drawn my attention to him is comfort in travelling with the ball over those extra 3, 4, 5 metres. Here he is on the ball at the moment. The stocky 15, Riedberg. Mossberg. Well, the Spanish referee, any close duels, any hands, any contact. Third yellow. I think he's about to brandish the yellow card.
Yeah, the card was out
Certainly
there.
was out. And England onto 2 fouls themselves. Smilovic to Boyang. Riedberg once again. Smilovic. Sudequist drops deep to reset the attack. Very comfortable playing that longer pass. Very comfortable to put pressure on the backs of England. If it goes out, they can go and put their defensive press on. They're not worried at all.
Yeah, as you mentioned, it's a bit of a low risk.
Looked a bit of a 50-50 there, whether Richard Ward was backing in or Boyang holding on to him. As
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the referee saw there. I'm not sure there's enough of anything to call a foul.
I think England need to keep putting it there with Sweden on 4 fouls. Ied back on the court again. One of the things the England players need to make sure with their hands is their hands are already up. Something I always talk to referees about is if you raise your hands, you're inviting the foul. If your hands are, there's no problem defending with your hands if they're already up, but it's watching out for when the players raise their hands. That's not what the referees are like.
And you're probably attracting the attention of the referee as well by doing that.
It becomes more obvious for them, absolutely. Ied's starting to get into some 1v1. He seems to be enjoying himself. Richard Ward. Well done, Johnny Sim. As Ied just attacked the back shoulder of Richard Ward. Certainly something they're going after tonight. Johnny Sim, fantastic covering. Sudequist. Great save, Johnny Sim.
Yeah, very, very futsal-like technique there. He realised there's no point trying to catch that, just deflect it and get it out dangerous way. And I think, Sean, England have just got to weather this period of pressure now.
Yeah, it's a challenge. It's about getting tight, but also being able to track and cover those spaces. And you could see as they played the parallel, it was a tough task for England to chase. Well defended. Ball drops back to the Swedish keeper, Alton. Ied to number 2, Fazilia back on court. Ied again. See that parallel again.
Yeah, Fazilia really caught that. Good save from Sim.
Sudequist with the volley. Johnny Sim collects. Sweden just starting to get a little bit of a foothold in the game here. Jack Tyson exchanging players with Jeff Adebayor. Well done, Jamie Brooker. Back on the court, Eddie Amarin. Brooker controlling the middle of the court. Plays Jeff Adebayor into Eddie Amarin. This is the areas we want to see Eddie Amarin in. Diagonal pass. Jack Tyson secures possession. Better from England. Breaking the press, finding our dangerous players in the final third.
Yeah, it was a good position from England there. Just Jack Tyson just couldn't get it out his feet quickly enough to lay it off for the shot.
Haisieni to Mossberg. Shuby. He had a little heels pass to try and deceive his opponent. England just need to disrupt the rhythm a little bit of the Swedish players here. The length of their possessions are just starting to increase, and you always feel the fatigue a little bit more when you're out of possession and in possession.
Well, yeah, as you say, chasing the ball and timeout for England.
No surprise, probably, in terms of John Tapia-Owens just thinking, OK, maybe coming up over the last few minutes with the coaching team, a little bit of a strategy to just start to disrupt the in-possession of Sweden.
Yeah, and I think it just stops their flow, and hopefully that minute timeout and correct a couple of things and they can get themselves back in the game. But that is also just taking that timeout, Sean, just totally disrupts them, and you know they clearly want to keep playing and playing. And they seem to have got their crowd on their side now because the Olays are starting, and they're probably getting a little bit ahead of themselves, but England need to react to that on the court, don't they? Yeah,
you can see that the crowds just for the first time probably just quietened a little bit. As I suppose, like you said earlier, you have those defensive tackles or those blocks, it brings the crowd in, but as those Swedish possessions just increased, it just quietened that. So England need to disrupt, get the crowd back into it, need to start to get hold of a foothold of the game in possession again.
A long way to go in the game, obviously, Sean. The table as it stands, Sweden on top with 7 points, Northern Ireland currently in the second qualifying place on 4 points, and England in third on 3. So long way to go, but England with a bit of work to do to get themselves back in the game.
Pal Freeman into Eddie Amarin. Little roll to find Jack Tyson. Jack Tyson does well to secure. Haisieni picks up the loose ball. A lot of responsibility on the pivots tonight to secure that first phase of play. Jack Tyson, Richard Ward in particular. Shuby, the skipper for Sweden, on the ball. Again, just for young players watching the game, one of the things that you could see with the Swedish players, they all use the outside of the foot to play that pass, so it allows their body orientation to face forwards to attack that space. And you're asking your direct opponent, your defender, to turn 180 degrees. If they open up their hips and use the instep or the side of their foot, they also have to turn more with their body. So it's just little techniques that you see in these tight spaces. Charlie Kuhn doing the same thing there. Eddie Amarin escapes Mossberg. Pal Freeman back to Kuhn. When they break that press, England, a little bit more bravery. They did fantastic there between Charlie Kuhn and Eddie Amarin, but we need to go and connect and support in the next part of the court.
Yeah, I think Eddie Amarin looked up and there weren't any options in front of him, so he kind of had to check and then come back, and then they had to restart.
And it goes back to the importance of disrupting the Swedish in possession, because when we get on possession ourselves, we need to have a little bit of that respite in order to keep possession and work through the court. And here's a player that can certainly do that, back on the court, number 12, Tyler Cook of Bolton Futsal Club. Need to be active there, England. You could hear John Tapirone shouting, make sure you're active on those set pieces. They can't switch off, and it's not a physical thing, it's the mental side of the game. You think you've got a respite with a set piece, but it's dangerous plays.
Well, I think there's something like between sort of 120 and 150 restarts in the game, and I guess that's opportunities for you to switch off.
Alton bringing the ball out, the Swedish goalkeeper. Into the goal scorer, Riedberg. Haisieni waits, trying to engage and entice an England defender.
I think one aspect England might be a little bit disappointed with, Sean, is Sweden have been on 4 fouls now for a long time, and they've not been able to draw that 5th foul, and then we can get into 10-metre penalty territory.
It'd be fascinating to talk to Mattia Duval about that. Like, just try and disrupt flow early on, and be maybe tactically trying to think, actually, if we go hard and aggressive early doors, we can start to impact England physically, and then our in-possession game can start to take control. And they're not in danger of that 5th foul at the moment because they've got the ball for large periods. England possibly a metre or so slightly deeper, just protecting that space. Again, we've always said, like, got to stay in the game. It's a long game ahead of them. Kuhn, clever little back heel, releases pressure. Go and attack the space, Charlie.
Does that create a problem then, when you are dropping off, you don't want to be too aggressive, but you start to drop, and then suddenly you realise, well, we're in our own half as our first line press.
And you don't want to be giving free shots away or pot shots from 15 metres or so. So yeah, finding the balance in the game is tricky. Gashi, Ied back on the court. He's been looking to play some 1v1s himself. The left-footed Söderqvist.
Yeah, you can hear the instructions from John Tapio on the other side. Hold.
Tyler Cook picks it up. Harry Tozer with fires over the ball. And I suppose from a flip side, the mental energy, Sweden need to be careful that they don't lose out. Quick possession wins from England, a lovely heels from Tyler Cook. And Harry Tozer he went high, but just a little bit too high.
Yeah, I think he was saying that maybe Atun got a little touch on it. I thought he took a touch on it, but goal clearance it was.
The Manchester pair, Barnes and Edge, just exchanging at the front line, protecting that space. Maybe that's something England have talked about. Boyang into Ied. Ied looking to turn. Jordan Edge stays with him. Behanchin, certainly from a refereeing point of view, has not been getting involved as much as his Swedish counterpart today. I want to say, I think possibly 5 out of the 6 fouls have been given by the Spanish referee.
I think you're right.
Opportunity here, Tyler Cook 1v1. Almost like it's too good of an opportunity. Didn't quite make up his mind there.
Yeah, I think in those situations you just got to go for it. Just try and roof it.
He needs to doesn't need to worry about it. Needs to get that out of his head. Alton on the counter attack. There's opportunities in this game for England. Just again, stay mentally strong with it.
I think they possibly rushed that corner after the opportunity.
And here's another one. Jake Barnes in. Jake inside. And probably should have again possibly pulled the trigger. Probably got his shot away. But there's positives here for England. Yeah. You can't get disheartened with this.
Yeah, I don't think you have to wait for the perfect moment. I think you just got to take the moment.
Oh my word! I'm getting a little bit excited, Louis. Apologies, but shot in from Harry Tozer. A flick similar to his goal against Ireland by Jeff Adebayor. And Alton was almost beaten. He scrambled to get it. Oh! Oh, Tozer with the shot!
Yeah, I have to say, Altun there with 2 magnificent saves, but England back on the front foot now.
And you can see the atmosphere has completely changed from England. The fans getting into the game. Edge with a shot.
Just got to be a little bit careful there. Jordan Edge with a shot from about 17, 18 metres. So just got to keep that shooting distances in mind.
Mossberg, T-Ed, Sweden trying to get control in possession. Just loose passes by the number 5 Ed. England sniffing blood here at the moment. Mossberg back on the ball, Boyang. Sweden just a little bit deeper now with their possession.
I mean, there's less than 2 minutes to go. This would be a great time for England to get themselves back on level terms with Sweden going into the half-time break.
We mentioned at the start, Sweden without 2 players in their 14 tonight, so they do only have 12 players, 2 less players than England. This physicality may just test them as the half wears on as we go into the second half.
Yeah, and I suspect Sweden have done the same thing that England did to just try and kill the momentum, England's momentum, give them a bit of a breather, a reset, and then can they try and get in over these last 106 seconds. But, I mean, that was so encouraging, Sean, in those last couple of minutes. The chances, you know, it has to be said, Atun there, he's kept them in the game. That was too unbelievable, especially the first save where he's had to reach behind him, probably didn't quite know where the ball was, clawed it off the line, and then the second save was just equally as good.
Yeah, that will certainly give the England players plenty of belief, confidence as they go into this last 1 minute 46 in the first half here.
And just going to try and get the match status up in a second.
I think the crowd just taking a breather. I think we're taking a bit of a breather here, Louis, as well. It's been pretty exciting stuff in this first 19 minutes.
Yeah, England with 10 attempts, Sweden with 16. England starting to catch up. Sweden were ahead quite a bit there, but England last sort of couple of minutes, 5 or 6 shots. England had a bit of a breather. They can really go at this for the last 1 minute 46 seconds, Sean.
Yeah, I don't think they'll change much. I think Mathieu Duval probably just reinforcing, again, probably some of the mental side of the game management. Making sure the players are sticking to their game plan. They don't, from their point of view, they don't want to see any momentum gain from an England perspective just before half time. Söderqvist with the long ball diagonal, and Johnny Sim and Faziliev are coming together there. Both players are down, and the medical staff come onto the court.
Yeah, I think both players were committed to going for the ball.
We spoke about that 6 metre area. It was, I mean, a pretty good pass from Söderqvist. It was a dangerous place.
I think it was a genuine attempt by Johnny Sim to go for the ball, but it just started to dip a little bit late. And
absolutely, the Swedish players, I think, were asking for a little bit more, but Johnny Sim every right to contest the ball. There was a coming together. Faziliev got there with his head first, but we've seen many coming togethers over these games. Certainly the levels of physicality have been pretty high across the week.
Yeah, and this means that Jack Walsh will have to probably come on for 15, 20 seconds. Unlike football, the goalkeepers, if they have to receive treatment, they have to come off.
Well, Faziliev has come off. And you're right, Jack Walsh is coming on. I think it's going to be a restart, England restart from Jack Walsh.
Yeah, and I think Johnny Sim putting his bib on, he may sit out the rest of this half, as we're only 71 seconds left to half time.
Jack Walsh goes long. Jack Tyson and Haisieni battling for the ball. Sweden just slowing down the game this last minute, quite happy just to wait for England. England now a little bit higher up with their press, exchanging on that first line. England almost come out with the ball.
Sweden definitely trying to manage the clock here. How brave do England get with 30 seconds to go?
Sieni not interested at all, just running down the clock. Sudakis attacks Pal Freeman. Probably should have carried on going himself though. He didn't need to try and look for the diagonal. He had the advantage. Brooker to Pal Freeman. Brooker finds Tyson in a really good position. Tyson with a shot. Again, just an opportunity. It's good work from Jack Tyson, but getting that second runner around him, maybe the first runner clearing the space and getting the second runner certainly allows them to get more options.
Yeah, you just need that commitment from the player to just go beyond him and then be that option.
It's great play, the passing, great play from England, great securing. Just getting a little bit that second play around the ball, and certainly second half that will be important for England. So half time here, England 0, Sweden 1. The goal scored by number 15, Gustav Rydberg. So not much changes. Obviously England now need 2 goals to go through, but the task is still the same. We've got 20 minutes. There's enough in this game for England. They start strong in the second half. The crowd behind them.
Do you think it's going to have to be a case for England of, at some point they're going to have to just push up the court a bit higher, and because the clock will eventually become a bit of an enemy?
Yeah, of course. You can't. That little middle period, sort of between 10 and 15 minutes, where the Swedish were dominating possession, we can't have too many of those in the second half. I don't think it will be all-out press. They're not going to panic. There's enough in the game. They're winning the balls back. They are creating moments. Probably just once the ball goes forward into the pivot, how they connect, how they support that next phase of the game. But there's certainly enough in this game for England at the moment. And maybe just varying that defensive line for the first 5-10 minutes, seeing if they can get back into the game. And they may need to go and be a bit more aggressive in the final parts of this game.
Yeah, we're just looking over at the England bench, and John Tapiro and his brother David and Stuart Cook have had a chat for a couple of minutes and starting to make their way to the changing room. The players in the changing room probably just having a little sort of debrief as well about that. And but England have definitely had some good chances in the game, just haven't been able to find that finish, and just that one bit of excellent play from Sweden is the difference between the sides at the moment. But the Northern Ireland team, who I can see sitting on the right-hand side of the stand there, I think they're the ones that have been making all the noise for Sweden. So, but England just got to look past that and focus on the next 20 minutes when they come back out and find a way back into the game.
And as much as we could talk about the tactical, the strategy, you've got 20 minutes to get yourself into a main round. Mindset is key, belief is key, focus on what you're doing in your individual roles and responsibilities, and they'll be right in this game, I'm sure of it. John Tapio-Owens and the coaching team will make sure they provide the right messages, get them to a level and ready for the second half. Here we are then at Sir David Wallace at half time. England 0, Sweden 1. We'll be back shortly.
Go again.
Welcome back for the second half, the final 20 minutes of Group B from the FIFA 2028 Futsal World Cup preliminary round here at the Sir David Wallace building at Loughborough University. So the situation is, Louis, England needing 2 in this second half as the Swedish players return on court.
Yeah, we noticed, Sean, during the break, England came back just after about 10 minutes. They've been out on the court there for 3 or 4 minutes now. The Swedes just coming back into the hall. So hopefully the England head coach, John Tappy-Owen, has got those messages across really quickly, clearly. The players clearly wanted to come out early, get out on the court rather than sit in the change room. So as you say, England have 20 minutes to keep their next round's hopes alive, being in that draw in June, to play the next round of the competition, October, November, December and February, March next year.
And just looking, England have made a change in goal, so on comes Jack Walsh, a big half for the Maidenhead player. The same outfield players, Jeff Adebayor, Richard Ward, Jamie Brooker, Harry Tozer to start the second half for England.
Well, I say, Sean, big games, big players show up, and it's certainly England's time for the big players to show up.
Mattia Duval, the Swedish coach, just returning to court as well as the Swedish players huddle up. What do you think their half-time team talk would have?
Well, I think they'll just carry on what they're doing. You know, until they run out of steam, they'll just keep playing and playing and playing. They know that at some point, if the score stays like this, England are going to have to risk probably everything to try and get firstly back on top. You can only score 1 goal at a time. England's first objective is get the first goal and then look to try and get a winner, and obviously keep the ball out of the net as well.
So the Swedish starting 5, Alton in goal, Ed Söderqvist, number 6, Haisieni on the ball, and the pivot, Gashi. England a little bit higher, intent straight away from England. That's got the crowd straight away. First play, good pressure, set piece high up the court for England.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any half-court stuff in this second half.
They have to go for it. That's fired in from Jamie Brooker. Got to be brave. Leave it out there. Good height from Jamie Brooker with that pass. Very difficult to defend. And we've seen transitions this week where players are passing along the floor. You pass at 12, 16 inches. You might not always hit your target, but you're certainly going to stop them from trying to control the ball and travel away from you.
Another good opportunity here for England.
Oh, again, fired in well from Richard Ward. Sweden clear it into Jack Walsh. Walsh going long into Ward, almost finding him. And that is certainly a trait of Jack Walsh. His ability from hands and feet to distribute could be important as we try and get a foothold in the second half.
Yeah, we know him from his NFS time that he's very adept keeper with his feet, very comfortable on the ball.
Söderqvist. Richard Ward just exchanging on the first line. Sweden bringing Alton into the attack for the first time. Maybe this is something they're going to look for. Well, the Spanish referee kind of continued from the first half there. Bit of a 50-50 again, but yeah. Jeff Adebayor has been penalised for that.
Yeah, I think the referee firstly, he was very, very close to the action, and we just see it in there. And I think it's possibly because Dubois put his hand up near his chest and he felt that was too much contact, but this is a really dangerous position now for England. It
is a dangerous situation, and it's a difficult one because you're trying to get, we talk about players getting your arms and your body across, and yeah, maybe it was slightly high and the referee didn't like that, but yeah, very fine line here. Anyway, Swedish set piece in a dangerous position for England. Söderqvist with the shot.
Yeah, and I think England were quite fortunate that didn't fall to the number 16 Gashi, because he was just hovering around the edge of the outside post there.
England just needing to stay alert. Mossberg with the strike. Sweden continuing to play a high press. Opportunity to attack the space in behind. Don't mind that. Again, things not to get disappointed about. It's going to ask questions of the Swedish defenders. You're asking the pivot to recover 30 metres. Things like that. Good play from England. It will ask defensive questions the longer the game goes on. England, a little bit higher. Well defended. Don't let Sweden get into that rhythm. Good pressure early on from England.
Yeah, I think obviously for Sweden it's a dangerous game. If they start dropping off, I think they'll keep some pressure on England, or as much as they can.
Brooker finds Adabo 4. Jamie Brooker into Richard Ward. Good hold-up play. Drops down to Harry Tozer. Fired across. Alton picks up the ball. Travels. Söderqvist slows it down. Back to Ed. Gashi. Söderqvist again. Well read. Good interception from Richard Ward. England finding a little bit of flow. England break the first line pressure.
Those are kind of the areas where we want to get Jeff Adu before, aren't we? So then he gets a chance to run at players, bring other players into the game.
Well, you see, it brings two defenders around the ball. If we can find a way out, it's going to be a spare player. Fired in, and England equalise! A great start from England. Harry Tozer fires the ball to the back post, and Richard Ward, I'm not going to say a simple goal, but did really well, composed, finished 1-1.
Well, that's Richard Ward's 30th goal for England by my reckoning, and that could be one of his most important.
Rydberg straight onto the attack for England, for Sweden, sorry.
We still have 18 minutes to go, Sean. Okay, strap yourselves in. The game is on.
Crowd into the game straight away. So is Eddie Amarin. Tyler Cook. The important thing, I think, here, Louis, as well, is England with that pressure. They can't allow Sweden to prolong those attacks. Jack Tyson. I think Eddie Amarin thought it was going to be an England ball. He just sort of left it run out. Swedish kick in on the far side.
I think he was looking to the side to try and get some guidance, and it'd run out by the time he realised.
Well defended, Eddie Amarin. Jack Walsh picks up the ball. And again, the slight higher pressure. England exchanging on the first line, not tracking their runners individually, allowing them to have more cover, just preventing those parallels from being quite as dangerous as they were in the first half. Long diagonal from Boyang. Tyler Cook picking up the ball. Free kick, England.
Yeah, good work from England there to try and recover that ball.
I mean, they're going to have to play a balancing act with that longer diagonal pass. Naturally, through the pressure, at times Sweden are going to play those passes. Just need to stay alert and aware. Eddie Amarin skips down the line. Again, drawing two players. You go and attack the line, you ask questions of your defender. That time Sweden answered, but fantastic attacking play from the number 10.
And literally in 3 minutes, England have changed the whole character and dynamic of this game.
Absolutely, absolutely. Cook. England bringing Jack Walsh into the game. We saw this with the Lionesses. Alicia Grimond finding Emma Tuna, Helvetia teammate, with the overload from the goalkeeper. Maybe England are looking for that as they start this second half well. Cook finds Tyson. Tyson rolls.
Yeah, good work there from Tyson. I think he was trying to find Tyler Cook, but realised, so he took the shot.
Back into Jack Walsh from Eddie Amarin. But what was great there, great pass from Tyler Cook into Jack Tyson. And because they were a lot closer and a lot connected, you had the first and the second runner. Jack Tyson had 3 options. Do I set Tyler Cook? Do I turn myself? Do I wait for the second runner? Asking questions of the Swedish defence.
Yeah, I was talking to a coach this afternoon, and he made that exact point. He says, I prefer closer connections, then we can speed things up, and there's not so much distance for players to make up.
Sweden also bringing their keeper into the game. Could be a tactical battle between the 2 goalkeepers. Alton progresses. Rydberg, the goal scorer from the first half for Sweden, not on target with his pass.
Yeah, I think England did well there because they got the pressure on and just forced that mistake.
Lovely little pass inside from Tyler Cook. Jack Tyson with a shot. That lovely little inside parallel, made famous in Brazil by Corinthians, called a little de Cesar. Fantastic little move, which allowed the space and the pass into Jack Tyson, who got his shot away.
Probably, I think we'd term that a decent tactical foul by Jordan Edge to stop that Swedish attack progressing.
Richard Ward on top. Sorry, Richard Ward back on top, up top there. Him and Boyang just getting a little bit close. Just keeping an eye on that battle. I'm sure the Spanish referee is as well, looking at him. Walsh with the restart. Sweden just trying to play a little bit of cover. I think they're starting to a little bit fearful of the pivot presence of Richard Ward and Jack Tyson, allowing England now a little bit of space to play. England looking for their own diagonal.
Yeah, it was good work by Richard Ward there. He brought his opponent in to allow Jordan Edge to make that run beyond.
Sweden going long, securing possession. Rydberg 1v1 against Jamie Brooker. You could see Jack Walsh, the goalkeeper, covering if needed.
I think another aspect to maybe consider, Sean, is with England playing at this pace, it also has a physical toll on the opponents. And as this game starts to go into the last sort of 5-6 minutes, that's where they may get some advantages too as well.
Absolutely. Just watching here as the volley comes in. Jack Walsh going long. You've only got 4 seconds on your restarts for your goalkeepers. So he was just going safe because of the referee might time him out. England giving away another free kick. Rydberg just flicking the ball over Adebofor and bringing him down. Smilovic to Rydberg, Söderqvist. Boyang coming round. Long ball again from Sweden. They'll play, and they'll play, but they're quite happy. If it's not quite on, we'll go and put the ball and make it the opponent's problem. Tozer down the line to Adebofor. And I think that's the first time Behanchen's given a free kick tonight.
Yeah, and it's England's turn to rack up these fouls. We're 14:29 to go. England are on 4 fouls, and it's really aggressive approach, but it does have a flip side, Sean, and England now on that precipice of on the 5 fouls.
It's, you know, fine balance between England have disrupted the in-possession play of Sweden, but possibly the consequences now, they've just limited their fouls for the rest of the game.
It's what's gone back into the game, though.
It has, absolutely. Another disrupting defensive play from England there, regaining possession.
Yeah, that's great pressure from England. The press came, and eventually they just had to dump the ball.
Jack Walsh goes long. Fazilia gets a little touch on his head, goes back to Alton. Shuby, the skipper. Fazilia, Söderqvist, just going to play again. Quite happy just to flip the ball down the line, maybe get a set piece, maybe put England under pressure as they'll try to do now. England playing without a forward, without a pivot player, going into that kind of 4-0 formation. Tozer to Brooker. Brooker finds Jake Barnes. And it's going to get a little cagey. You can see both teams trying to play, but the pressure's so high, they don't want to take any risks. It's going to go a little bit longer at times.
Yeah,
a little bit low risk. Stakes of the game are high.
I think we've seen in most of these games where we got to the latter stages and it's got a little bit messy, a little bit untidy, but that's added to the drama of the game.
Tozer strong in the 1v1 duel against Shuby. Brooker just picks up the loose ball into Jake Barnes. Great turn from Jake Barnes, accelerates away. Harry Tozer looking for the give and go. He didn't need to play it. He could have carried on himself.
Yeah, I think he could have driven it out to the right and possibly got a shot off. But again, good movement for England there to get out the 4-0.
Great turn from Jake Barnes. And actually, if Tozer had carried on, probably in his shooting range all of a sudden. The long pass picked up by Yed. Jake Barnes in 1v1 battle with him, does well. England's starting to win those 1v1 duels. Cook finds Barnes. Barnes into Pal Freeman. I think that will be a corner ball, yeah. Tyler Cook just nodding the ball on the back of Fazilia.
Yeah, I think that was actually really clever play there by Tyler Cook. Realised he probably was going to get anything more than a corner out of it. England need to set this corner up properly to give themselves the best possible chance to hopefully fashion a goal-scoring opportunity.
Oh, fired in by Jordan Edge. Alton just getting a little toe as he stretched. Pal Freeman back on to Edge. Tyler Cook steps inside, finds Jordan Edge. Edge going longer again, stretching the Swedish defence.
Yeah, you could see what he was trying to do there, just a little bit too much on it, but a great idea from Jordan Edge.
Ed into high CNE. Gashi, Ed just travels into the space. Good cover from Liam Pal Freeman, who just pulls up. Seems to be in a little bit of pain, Liam Pal Freeman. I don't think there was any, no, there was no contact.
No, I think he just turned. He may just have planted his right foot on the ground and tried to turn and just maybe over-rotated on it.
I'm just wondering, as someone who recently came back from a calf strain, just looking at the physio, doesn't look great for Liam Pal Freeman.
I don't know if it's lower down, Sean, in the Achilles, but we know he generally has to be dragged off the court at the best of times.
Yeah, he's in a moment like this. They're lifting him to his feet. Let's see how if he can walk off. The crowd giving him a big round of applause as the medical team help him off the court.
It's actually, just looking across there, all the Northern Ireland squad are up applauding Liam Powell from off the court.
Yeah, that's really good. Like you got club teammates. Yes, we've got rivalries. But yeah, no one wants to see a player of his quality as well. You want on the court. You want to see the best players in these moments. Be interesting to see if that's it for Liam, or if he'll be back on court in a bit. Anyway, back to the game. Sweden set piece. Alton advances with the ball. Just looking for the pocket there. You could see just Ed dropping short between the two defensive lines for England and picking up the ball, turning, but an easy shot. England just little lacks of concentration. Great opportunity for
That's a massive
Söderqvist.
let-off. That is a massive let-off. He'll be really disappointed with that, but he's central, not much pressure on him, and he just skied it.
England long. I think Tyler Cook might be in here. Little flick. Alton gathers the ball. Jake Barnes picks up the ball to Tyler Cook. Just needed to take a little bit more care there.
Just keeping an eye on Liam Palfreman. He seems to be up on his feet now. Hopefully his race isn't run yet.
Well, one of the big moments is if we do need to use the attacking fly, and he's a key member of that setup. Ied switches the play. Mossberg back on the court. Haisieni switches the play. Ref's not interested in Gashi going to the floor a little bit easier. Certainly gets around the court, doesn't he, the number 16. England holding firm. Well defended, England. Jack Walsh picks it up. Just plays safe that time.
Yeah, I think he got caught in no man's land there. Rather than risk a pass, he just decided again just to dump it. And it means that Sweden then have to restart in their own third.
Absolutely, they don't need to get frustrated by that. Charlie Kuhn back on the court, as is the skipper, Russ Goldstein. And this time, it's the Eds and Sweden who just lump it up long and out of play. The quality of those longer passes has certainly dipped as well. We saw the couple of times where they dropped it on a pinpoint accuracy around 6-7 meters. That's certainly not the case in this second half. Goldstein, great stop turn from Charlie Kuhn. Opens up space for Eddie Amarin. He's asking players to leave him alone. Let him play 1v1. Kuhn turns over heels. Picks up. Nice little combination between the two Genesis players.
Yeah, maybe if just Russell Goldstein had held his position there, that might have just dropped onto his foot.
Boyang to Ied. The diagonal pass. Jack Walsh brought into action, has to make the save.
But that was great work by Jack also to keep it going out for the corner.
Good battle between Boyang and Jack Tyson. Does really well there to give England the court. Into Goldstein. Just need to get, here we go, Eddie Amarin just a little bit higher. He doesn't want to engage him. Smilovic, can they get Amarin on the ball here? Now he's a bit higher, he's happy to try and press. There's certainly an opportunity there. Can they get England's number 10, just 5-10 metres forward? Because Smilovic did not want to engage him. There's probably been a message there, 1v1. We don't want to get done by the England number 10. Great throw into Tyson. Can he win something for the team? He's done really well there.
Yeah, you just mentioned about Eddie Amarim there. It was just interesting. He just dropped back and tried to create that space in behind him because I think Boyang was a little bit too high up the court and he almost pulled it off.
Ball just moving off the line. Harry Tozer just having to adjust. And one of the things about the 1v1 play, if the attacker can bring that first touch forwards, it really sets the tone for the situation. The defender often having to back off or pause or wait, or if they do go and dive in, can get skipped past, as we've seen Amarin do on many occasions this week.
Well, we're 9:13 to go. We're definitely getting into the business end of the game now, Sean. The clock is going to be England's enemy.
Fazilia just stepping onto the loose pass. Sweden drop it back to Alton. Keeper can't be used again until an opponent touches the ball. Well done, Jack Walsh, just sweeping up. So yeah, you just saw the goalkeeper Alton bring the ball out. He can only use the goalie once in a phase as he comes forward and strikes. Unless it's touched an opponent, or as he is now, in the attacking half. Richard Ward with a speculative effort. So just watch that out in terms of later in the game. The keeper can only be used once until it's touched an opponent, or the goalkeeper advances into the opponent's half. Söderqvist skips past Tozer. Rydberg back on for Sweden. Rydberg certainly not happy with the Spanish official on that one. Felt he was tugged back by Jamie Brooker.
I thought he was going to call it, but he had a good look and told him to get up. He said there was nothing there. 100% a foul.
Bit of a push. I'm not sure if it was Rydberg or Söderqvist, but certainly between the two of them brought Richard Ward down. Good distribution again. It's been a bit of a theme of the second half through Jack Walsh. Yeah, and England a free kick in a dangerous situation.
It was definitely Rydberg, and no eyes on the ball. He just cleaned out Richard Ward. And just England just need to take a bit of care setting this free kick up, make sure everyone knows their role. Get the timing right.
We saw one in the first half where I think it was Russell Goldstein ran over the ball, tried to create the opening for Tozer to shoot. Ward and Haisieni certainly getting to know each other a little bit better in the box there.
I'd say the Spanish referee's English is excellent.
Tozer with the strike and a second strike. Alton with a little touch.
Yeah, he couldn't take any risks there, Alton. He had to make sure the ball cleared the bar. I think Harry Tozer wanted the corner from the other side, didn't he? But they're going to have to set up on this side.
Just noticed Mathieu Duval's holding the timeout card for Sweden as well. So I just wonder if he's going to look to change things up in a minute or give his team a little respite.
And England have managed to keep the intensity up, Sean. They've managed to keep it on 4 fouls as well.
Spoke about that the other day, how often that happens. You might get to 4 or even 5, and those other fouls sometimes just don't materialise through the nature of the game. Harry Tozer picks up the loose ball. Tozer finds Brooker. Brooker back to Jack Walsh. Walsh advance. Tyson. Tozer, sorry, back to Ward. Brooker going long and off Rydberg's shoulder.
Yeah, Richard Ward used his body really well there just to knock him off balance, and it clipped his shoulder, and England get another great opportunity for a set piece.
As Walsh brings the ball forward for England, just need to find an opportunity for him either to maybe get a strike off or an England player into that pocket, into the middle, to affect the Swedish players.
It was a vital block for Sweden there. Great strike by Jeff Aduda for loads of power. I think it was on target.
Yeah, England have been no nonsense with their set pieces tonight, really trying to put pressure on the Swedish goal. The ball drops back to Walsh. Over the top and finds Brooker. Again, probably just opportunity to just take a little bit care, a bit more time than they perhaps realised there, Jamie Brooker. Great pass from Walsh. And Mossberg fires over the bar from inside the D. England just losing concentration for a second.
I think we're just going to have those sort of moments in the game, Sean, where there's going to be a little moment where England take a risk or it doesn't quite come off, and Sweden are going to get chances.
Well, Pal Freeman's back on the court, which is great to see. Jake Barnes, oh my word, Jake Barnes bringing the ball down beautifully. A little outside the foot pass. It came off the post or went for Alton's legs. I'm not sure what happened there, but so close from Jake Barnes there.
I think it hit the foot of the left-hand post as we look at it. Yeah, went behind the keeper.
Fantastic pass by his club teammate, Jordan Edge. The crowd getting into this one, 6:41 on the clock. Haisieni to Rydberg, Smilovic. Söderqvist finds the diagonal and gets the return pass. Sudakis shoots low. And Jack Walsh makes the save. As much as in the first half, Sweden were finding those aerial passes in behind, England have had that a few times themselves this second half.
England switching to a 4-0.
Jake Barnes just playing safe.
Yeah, he just didn't have too many options there, did he? Everything just got compressed.
Now you could see also as he received the ball, all his weight and body weight distribution was going backwards, so he had no chance to attack the pass as Sweden fire it in through Boyang. Jordan Edge into the pocket to Liam Powell-Freeman. Just wanting Jake Barnes to push on there and maybe go and attack the shoulder of his opponent. Ed, drop of the shoulder. Opportunity there for Sweden, but goes out of play before Shuby can attack the space. Timeout, England.
It's going to be interesting where we get to in the game where if it stays 1-1, at what point does John Tappione think about the fly keeper? I mean, England are doing well, but it's just creating that one chance they need. Yeah,
the conundrum here for England is, what point do you perhaps go into your attacking fly? The later you leave it, you're not perhaps going to have as many good plays to set it up. Here's a great play to set it up from the halfway line, but there is still 6 minutes left. Equally, does he feel that 4v4 on court? Are they creating enough chances to still pose a threat in the time they've got? That's a big dilemma for them, the team. It'll be interesting to see what they decide off the back of this timeout.
I kind of get the feeling that, you know, Richard Ward is going to need to be on the court. We're going to need another goal from him, I think, to get this over the line.
Well, it looks like they are preparing for it. You can see Jordan Edge putting on the fly goalkeeper shirt. I don't think it's going to be off this restart. Oh no, I tell a lie. It is. They're going to go for it here.
And again, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? When do you do this? If you leave it too late, you don't give yourself enough time.
Yeah.
And we saw this afternoon with the Swiss against Northern Ireland, it was about this time they started going for it.
So the Swedish are boxing off here, and what I mean by that, if you notice, they're almost creating a box with their defensive shape, a 2-2 system. So they're going to have to adapt here, England. Just get used to the setup. The other day when they played fly, Northern Ireland defended it differently. Maybe again, Sweden probably watched that and just adapting. So they're going to have to be patient, get used to the setup and find the opportunities. Into the corner to Richard Ward, fires it across. Need to pressurise the ball. Well done, England. Alton with a touch and it almost landed at Adebofor's foot.
Yeah, and I guess in this box system, it's how aggressive are they going to be, especially on the front two players? What sort of space is that leaving behind? Can we get a player into the middle of that box?
And from a Swedish point of view, having already qualified, okay, they don't want to lose this game. They want the momentum. They want to come top of the group. But actually, they could take the odd risk. England go again. Cook. Eddie Amarin just trying to look at a block onto Mossberg. Cook into Adebofor. England ball. Swedish.
I don't think they were too impressed with that call.
No, it was right in front of their bench as well. It's a long time. We had this morning with the Lionesses where Slovakia went fly quite early on in the second half, and actually the mental fatigue as well as the physical for those same four players, and at some point the Swedish might have to bring players that are less familiar in defending in this pattern. Ward turns, shoots. Alton makes the save. Cook to Amarin. Edge. Just for a split second there, the pass from Cook to Edge, just a little bit undercooked, if you like. Not quite the weight on it, but Edge manages to nip past
Yeah,
number 7, Smilovic, and get the free kick.
Just think he just moved his body back across to get his foot there, and then the challenge came in.
Again, England just need to stay focused in these moments. Every touch, every possession, every inch matters now. Amarin central. Finds Edge. Into Cook on the diagonal.
Indirect free kick.
So I think Jack Walsh just coming on because England have got a set piece and probably just going to look to create an opening for the shot. And if, I suppose if in case there's any transition, the goalkeeper's back on court.
Yeah, it's in such a good position. You don't really want to just hand this back to the fly keeper and start playing passes.
And again, we look at the clock. There's still a lot of time here.
Referee with a bit of a dry sense of humour there, arms crossed, waiting for the players to sort themselves out. And I think we're good to go.
Tyler Cook over the ball. Fires it in. Ball comes back to him. Another shot from Tozer. Drops the ball back into Walsh, who advance. Just looking for an option there. You could see nothing emerged. So he just played the ball safely out of play.
Yeah, I'm just not sure whether Jack was hearing a couple of different instructions coming out from the bench, miscommunicated, and the ball unfortunately was given away. 4 minutes to go.
Ied plays the ball across court to Riedberg. Manages to jump through. Important save. Gashi with the toe poke. Jack Walsh matches it.
Yeah, England just cannot afford to concede any goal now. It'd become a really steep mountain for them to climb with under 4 minutes to go.
England very active from the corner.
I've just had to change hands on my microphone, Sean, because I realised I'm gripping it so hard. I don't want to break it.
It is tense. It is tense. Sweden back on the ball. Riedberg. Slightly light pass cross court. Oh. England almost getting caught inside their own D. Walsh onto the ball. Just goes long.
Stuart Cook there on the side telling him just get up the court, and Jack Walsh will deliver it.
Smilovic in to Hysieni, up against Harry Tozer. England need that ball back. 3:20 on the clock. And there it is, an opportunity to break. Jamie Brooker inside, fires it across. Opportunity for England to get back into the fly. Edge comes back onto the court.
Yeah, good work there from England to try and get the shot off, but an equally impressive block from Sweden.
That diagonal certainly opened up as they switched the play, but just twice, just a little bit too much on the pass, sort of almost at chest height, and not much Cook could do about that one. Oh, Ied slips. In front of goal. Tozer working hard.
England have just got to find it. One big last push here in the last 3 minutes, try and find this goal that can take them through to the draw in June.
Riedberg fires it down the line. Jack Walsh Almost hits us with the ball there.
Yeah.
Good clearing up though, good covering skills. Tozer presses hard. Sweden take a timeout. Looking at how they can probably break down the England high. It's such an aggressive press, it has to be. England naturally going to leave some spaces back there.
Yeah, and it's only going to get much more intense, and they're going to have to take more risks. The jeopardy level goes up. Just looking at the match stats, England with 28 attempts on goal, Sweden with 31. England 9 on target, Sweden 13. England 13 attempts blocked to Sweden's 8. So you know, we've seen a lot of blocking this week. The effectiveness of the blocking, and Sweden at the moment just managing to keep England out, but they've got to find a point where they can find a weakness in the Swedish team and then finish it off.
And I think it is a bit of a skill. I think you know, one of the things John Tapir-Owens always talks about with the players is small actions, large body surfaces. So you don't get those horrible deflections off calves or off knees or anything. When you start moving too quickly, that's when you get those scrappy goals. But the Swedish players making small adjustments, keeping a strong body shape. And if you notice, every time there's a block, it goes back towards England's goal. It doesn't fly necessarily out for a corner all the time. England putting Sweden under pressure. Here comes the fly team again.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how that timeout Sweden have taken, how that affects the game, if at all.
I don't think it will change defensively what Sweden do, and I think it was when they were on possession what they were looking to do. Hammering into Jeff. Jeff brought it by 4. Jeff, a fantastic turn there.
Great bit of footwork there from Jeff Adu before as England come again.
That middle just opened up. Maybe that's what they're looking to target as Sweden continue in that 2-2 box shape. Amarin leaves it. Edge. England need to be quick here as Sweden play a long one. Russell Goldstein called into defensive duties, scrambles back, heads the ball clear.
Yeah,
That's what it's going to be like though. It's going to get a bit crazy now.
Yeah, you've got to say England got that goalkeeper exchange horribly wrong, but fair play to Russell Goldstein in his 63rd cap, getting back to make that incredible clearance.
Well, Jordan Edge was on the floor and had to run a long way to go and make that change. Strong block by Jamie Brooker, I think hit him in the ear. That's what it's going to need. It's going to need everything on the line for England now in these last 2 minutes.
123 seconds to go.
Sweden with the volley. Fired in. Walsh goes long. Picked up by Sweden. Oh, just drops down to the Swedish players. Rydberg, pass 1. Walsh coming out to cover. England need to go and win the ball back. And they do now. The crowd urging Walsh to go longer. But they want to get into that fly setup. You can understand why he's being patient, because he's trying to assess what the Swedish player's doing. The crowd are urging him to go forward. Alton goes long this time. Cook picks it up. Barnes needs to get it out of chaos. They do a little bit. Sweden got opportunity to break here. Great defending from Adabo 4. Amarin drops it into Walsh. Walsh goes long. Now they've got an opportunity. Minute 9 on the clock.
The tension in here is at unbelievable levels.
My heart rate's going. I don't know what the players are feeling like. Incredible ending to the game. Come on, England. Amarin to Cook. Cook fires it in. Felt it got a deflection. Swedish kicking.
Yeah, I suspect the Swedish team will take as much time as they can on the restarts now and try and take the sting out of the game.
Yeah, they're not going to want to rush this. They want to get this right. They're going to look to play long, probably use Alton here, kill the clock. Alton's going to probably go long. Going to try and bounce out as they do here. Rydberg's through, fires it in. Still got to do your defending, England.
Yeah,
high stakes.
At the moment, the ball is at the wrong end of the court for England. Just under 51 seconds to go.
The ball rolls out. England need that ball back quick. Opportunity here. Ed just tried to take the ball down the line, goes out of play. Maybe one, maybe two. You never know in the fly situation.
Yeah.
England didn't quite set up. Sweden lucky with that one. Just got a bit scrappy. The last couple of times they've got into flights, not quite set up the way they did it early on in the. And
it's
Sweden
just that the frantic nature of the game has just taken over.
And it's natural. It's natural. The pressure here.
27 seconds.
From the set piece, England went to defend individually. Söderqvist found himself free in the left-footed number 9. Finds the bottom corner. England got 25 seconds. They got to score 2.
Yeah, well, I think it has to be said, Sean, it's going to take an absolute miracle here. Sweden are going to win the group, and it looks very much like Northern Ireland are going to be going through to the main round draw in June.
Mossberg opens up to Alton, just going to play the ball into Söderqvist. Barnes defends well. Söderqvist manages to hold on to it somehow. And Sweden will just run down the clock. And there you have it. Sweden have snatched the result and the win in the final minute. England threw everything at them second half. A really strong performance second half. Defensively, much more aggressive. Controlled large parts of the game. But that's futsal. It's cruel.
Yeah, fine margins. Firstly, congratulations to Sweden on winning the group, and Northern Ireland, the lowest ranked team in this group, who qualify. But for England, it's disappointment, and no doubt there'll be time to reflect on the matches and what was positive and what the improvement needs to be. But I think you're right, Sean. England gave it a really good go, hit the post, a couple of brilliant saves and some really vital blocks from the Swedes. But ultimately, it's going to be disappointment for England.
And the crowd appreciating the efforts, the energy that the England players put in tonight. Congratulations to Sweden, as you say, for topping the group, and congratulations to Northern Ireland for finishing second in the group. It's been a fantastic week of futsal, bitterly disappointing for England, and they're going to have to dust themselves off and move into the next cycle.
Yeah, I think there's players here today. They've given it everything, but not quite enough to get us over the line. But as you say, this is part of England's journey, and they'll have to work it out. Think again about what I said, the approach is, and what do we need to tweak anything. But overall, it is disappointment for England. But yeah, again, you have to take your hat off to the Swedes. They had to battle through every game that they played. And there we see the final table. Sweden do top the group.
Yeah, Sweden finished the group on 7 points, 2 wins and a draw. Each of their games have been very tight this week, winning their 2 games by the odd goal. Northern Ireland coming in second with 4 points, England in third, and Switzerland in fourth with 2 points. It's been a fantastic week of futsal, as we said. Really profiled the game here in England. There's a lot of emotions at the moment, certainly from an England point of view, and of course a Swedish and Northern Ireland point of view. Thank you for joining us this week. I hope you've enjoyed the commentary, all the different games. Hopefully it's inspired you wherever you are in the country. If you're a young player or a coach, boy, girl, whatever it is. Obviously the historic moments of the Lionesses, the coaching conference, the youth festivals. There's so much to look forward to about futsal in this country. As much as we know there's challenges, there's a hell of a lot of sweat, tears, effort, energy. Big thank you to Loughborough University, to all the volunteers. The staff here have been brilliant. All the tournament staff, fantastic. To UEFA. I can go on and on and on, and the reason I'm doing that is because I want people to understand how much this means to us, how much we want this to exceed, the situation that we're in. We're working ever so hard. Futsal is such a big passion to what we do, and hopefully this week showed that. Once again, just to wrap up, Louis, I'll get your final thoughts from me. Congratulations, Sweden and Northern Ireland. England will come back. We'll come back. We're going to look for the long term. We're trying to put a strategy and a programme in place, and we'll get there. I feel for those players. I feel for the staff and the effort and energy that I know they've put into this. But sometimes these heartaches are there for a reason, and they'll make us stronger. Louis, wrap us up, please.
Yeah, I think firstly, Sean, you as head of performance, congratulations to you, what you've helped to put on this week. I know you've been running here, there and everywhere, and you've come and fulfilled commentary duties as well, so huge thanks to you for you and your time, and you've been really generous with that. And it can't be difficult, it can't be easy when you're commentating your own team as well, but I think you've done a sterling job this week, so thank you very much on behalf of the futsal community. And I think what you said has really summed it up, that although this week has been about the England teams, it's much bigger than that, what the piece of work that's being done, the community here. There's so many people around the country, every night going out delivering sessions, small sessions, big clubs, just starting off, coaches just discovering the game and trying to work it out. Coaches have been in there a long time, trying to still figure it out as well, Sean. But what we do know, this is a fantastic sport. It deserves this sort of coverage and much more. And I think everyone's trying to work towards that. So I think on that note, big thank you to everyone who's watched and got in touch via the internet and streaming and stuff like that. And it's been a magnificent week. It's been a privilege to be here, be part of this. Big thank you to the camera crew behind us. They've been absolutely brilliant, and hopefully we'll be able to do this again very soon.
Thank you, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed it, and have a good night. Take care.
That's one of the weirdest environments.